And good evening, everybody. I'm meteorologist Fred Hexom in downtown Sioux City, where I'm out braving the elements. We've had, well, let's just measure here in an unplowed section, about 3 inches of snow so far here. And, of course, there's a layer of slick slush underneath all of that. Here's the satellite and radar where you can see lots of snow here today. A band of over a foot of snow stretching from Sioux Falls into parts of northwest Iowa. It looks like the western edge of that snow is starting to move closer and closer, so we expect that rain, or that snow, I should say, to wind down during the evening. Visibility is still in really bad shape, especially across western Iowa. Let's look at that. Near whiteout conditions in spots. It goes without saying, don't drive unless you absolutely have to. Road conditions are a mess. Even the major roads are up to 100% snow covered. Another reason to please stay home here tonight. That winter storm warning remains in effect until midnight tonight. So it looks like treacherous travel will continue at least through the evening. Here is the planner. The snow will be ending by about 8 to 9 p.m. tonight. After that, clearing skies. It's about to get cold. In fact, I think we're going to dip down into the single digits early tomorrow morning. I'll be back in a few minutes with a look at how much snow fell across many parts of Siouxland and a look at a cold weekend forecast in just a few minutes. It's time for local news that matters.
With local news that matters from KCAU TV in Sioux City, Iowa. This is ABC 9 News at 5.
And good snowy afternoon. Thanks for being with us today. I'm Tim Seaman.
And I'm Jenna Renstrom. As Fred just said, Siouxland is getting pounded with snow and those wintry conditions.
And in fact, that means the conditions are getting worse by the minute.
Our meteorologist, Elisa Raffa, has also been tracking this storm for us this afternoon. She's live outside with an update on those roads. Elisa, how's it going out there now?
Tim and Jenna, there's really no other way to put it than it is bad out here. Whiteout conditions with blowing snow. That's dropping visibility, making it hard to plow. The roads are slick, really hard to drive, really slippery. If you could even see behind me, there's a police car blocking off the entrance to I-29 South. If anyone has ever driven that ramp, it's very curvy, so my thinking is it must be too dangerous to drive.
Rain pushing through parts of Woodbury County in particular, and many of us getting substantial amounts of rain. We're starting to see a few showers firing back up, so I'll include a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm here this evening as well. But nothing like last night. Temperatures are in the 70s and 80s, and here comes the planner. I'll be back in a few minutes to detail some of the rain we saw this morning and what you can expect over the next week. It's time for local news that matters.
Now, live from KCAU TV in Sioux City, Iowa, this is ABC 9 News at 5.
Land have left areas absolutely soaked. Folks in Sloan are dealing with 5 to 6 inches of water. 8th Street along Buckley Street is filling up with water being pumped out of homes.
6th Street is completely covered as well with water, and so is North Shannon Drive. As you can see, water is everywhere. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us today. I'm Tim Seaman. Other parts of Woodbury County are also dealing with water issues today.
And I'm Jenna Renstrom. 6 to 7 inches of rain fell between Mobile and Hornick early this morning. Our Deborah Souverain was in Hornick today, where the town is preparing for a possible flooding on the West Fork Creek. She joins us now.
That's right, Jenna and Tim. Hornick was drenched with about 7 1/4 inches of rain early this morning. City officials are now keeping their eyes on the West Fork Creek, which is expected to crest at around 7 p.m. tonight. Some farmlands were overcome by the downpour, the soil completely saturated by rainfall. Here you can see corn and soy crops surrounded in water. In Holly Springs, roads were blocked off as rising water levels crept onto the street. Hornick City Mayor Greg Crook says his main concern now is the West Fork Creek, which has flooded in the past.
All the farmers, it's going to be a concern, but you know, the people in town, the concern is if the creek breaks, then we're in a flood stage, and at that time, people's going to lose property, personal property.
Mayor Crook says the creek is rising at about 1 foot per hour and is expected to crest at 21 feet around 7 p.m. While there is minor flooding in residential areas, the downpours have had the biggest impact on farmlands. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from a farmer who is concerned about his crops, which are right next to the creek. Reporting live in studio, Deborah Souverain, ABC 9 News.
Today's Severe Weather Week topic is lightning. That's an often overlooked threat in the spring and summer. Well, the air near a lightning strike is heated to 50,000 degrees. That's hotter than the surface of the sun. Over 300 people are struck by lightning each year. Unfortunately, that kills 55 to 60 people annually, and hundreds suffer permanent neurological disabilities from the lightning strike. All thunderstorms produce lightning and are dangerous, even if they are not labeled severe thunderstorms. And lightning often strikes away from rain. That's important to remember, because if you hear thunder, you are in danger, even if it's not raining. Well, one of the most common places we encounter lightning, Tim, is around the house. So let's take a look at what we need to know around the house. First of all, if you're in the pool and you start to hear thunder, head indoors. Water conducts electricity, which can be transferred to your body. Also, that metal fence around the pool, not a good idea. Stay away from metal objects. They also conduct electricity, and you can be electrocuted. How about the car in the driveway? Well, you know, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, a car is certainly a decent thing for some shelter. They offer some protection, but not nearly as good as the house. Speaking of trees in the front yard there, whether you're at home or somewhere else, you want to stay away from trees during a lightning storm because lightning is attracted to tall objects. The best place to go is right inside home sweet home, but stay away from windows because, of course, thunderstorms with lightning can also produce hail. We have to look at the severe weather risk for tonight. Most of us in a marginal risk. That means 1 or 2 strong or severe storms possible, but there could be a slightly more widespread activity to the southeast, especially around Denison, Omaha, Council Bluffs, with large hail and damaging winds possible with any storms that do develop. Still questionable if we will see much development. Here is our rain vision over the past 24 hours. Clearly central, eastern, and southern Woodbury County, where we saw the most of that heavy rain from earlier this morning. Now let's move here on to some rain totals. We saw one total from Sloan reported at 8 inches. Many other totals around Sloan at 5 to 6 inches. Climbing Hill, Iowa, 7 1/4. Correctionville, 6.7 inches. No correction needed on that. And 6.2 inches in Mobile. Decatur, Nebraska, 5 inches. Sioux City escaped the heaviest rain with just under 1.5 inches at the airport and 1.75 inches on the north side of the metro. Here's some video of flooding this morning from Odo, courtesy of Richard Mack. You can see the ditches just full of water. This was taken sometime between about 6 and 7 a.m. Lots of flash flooding in eastern Woodbury County this morning.
This morning, storms with powerful winds hit the Sheldon area. The regional airport there was among the areas of town hit hard. The storm leveled an entire airplane hangar, destroying the planes inside, even a car that was inside. Much of what used to be in one hangar is now sitting in a nearby field. Staff we talked to say when they got there this morning, there was airplane fuel all around and also down power lines. They say the amount of the damage came as a big shock.
When we first came out, you know, you didn't see this when you first come around the corner and you thought, oh, look at that, everything looks pretty good. And then you get around the corner and you see that, oh, okay, no, everything's not okay. We got a lot of mess here, so.
Vuss says he and his family have been running the airport for 2 decades and says nothing like this has ever happened. They're estimating the storms did somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 worth of damage. Sheldon is far from the only community hit by those high winds. The town of Marcus also reported damages. High winds downed and splintered trees around the neighborhoods. As soon as the storm passed, neighbors came out helping each other with the cleanup efforts. It's something members of this tight-knit community say they're lucky to have.
Could have been a lot worse. Thank goodness it wasn't, but I know a lot of friends, and that's the nice thing about Marcus. Everybody does come together and help everybody out. Because these are all friends coming over to help them clean this mess out, so.
There were no reported injuries in connection to this weather. No word yet on how much damage the winds actually did.
As we look at our Sioux City Skycam HD, you can see the bright sunshine that took us all the way to, drum roll please, 90 for our record high today in Sioux City. Not only is that a record, it is, look at this, 43 degrees above the normal for this date. There's the old record, 83 from 2012, 46 last night's low, 20 above normal. There are other records to tell you about. Norfolk today, 92, the old record 84 in 2012. There you see Sioux City. Omaha, 88, breaking the old record of 81 also from 2012. And I should also mention that 92 in Norfolk today ties the warmest day ever in the month of March for Norfolk. pretty warm. You can see temperatures climbing quickly this afternoon, and then you can also see the cold front starting to muscle in late in the afternoon as temperatures cooled a bit.
Good morning, Siouxland, and thanks for starting off your Tuesday with us. We had a bit of a lull in the showers and the thunderstorms overnight, but it looks like that's soon coming to an end. You can see that we have those showers and storms currently moving through Norfolk and northeast Nebraska toward Wayne and Laurel here this morning. As we expand the view, you can also see an arc of additional showers and thunderstorms further off to the west, approaching Lake Andes. There is a severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect in Charles, Mix, and Gregory counties in South Dakota for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and also some small hail accompanying that storm. We have a flash flood watch in effect for much of the region here until 7 p.m. Could see an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain today. Always remember, never cross a flooded road. Your temperatures currently sit in the 60s with 64 in Sioux City and close to 70 degrees further in the south with 68 in Sakima and Omaha. Here's the planner where it looks like we're going to be sitting in the 60s here.
Here's the satellite and radar, and you can see the rain showers pushing through, but where you see some blue, that's where we had some snow mixing in. In fact, all the way from Norfolk to Wayne, we had snow. Snow reported in parts of Monona and Harrison counties in Iowa. We had numerous reports of sleet around the Hinton area. The ground even covered on the grassy surfaces for a time with sleet. And in Sioux City, it was a mix of snow and sleet and rain at times. So quite a wet, soaking mess. And check this out. Since midnight, Sioux City has had about 1.33 inches of rain. A confirmed tornado near Hospers. We showed you that. That was moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. That warning until 6:15 p.m. And that's the storm that you see right in here. This is the... There you go. That was the storm near Hospers, confirmed on the ground, and that was confirmed as of 5:56 p.m., just about 4 minutes ago. Our velocity scope shows that there is still some rotation around Hospers. We'll zoom in a little bit tighter there. In fact, that's probably the tornado if it's still on the ground right there near Hospers. If you're anywhere near Hospers, you want to seek shelter immediately for this very dangerous storm. And speaking of rain, a band of 1+ inches from south of Sioux Falls to west of Sioux City to west of Wayne, Nebraska. That's where we had 1 inch plus in that darker blue band that you see there. Here is a picture of incredible damage in Delmont, South Dakota. That is pretty incredible. It speaks for itself. And Todd Heitkamp is the warning coordination meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. He says, my heart goes out to people in Delmont and surrounding areas. A Mother's Day that won't soon be forgotten. We're fortunate that we didn't see more, actually, storms like that, considering how energetic the atmosphere was here today. Here is a picture of some hail damage west of Jefferson, South Dakota. Thank you, Wendy, for sending that in. You can see what the hail just ripped up the front of the house. I got this just before the show. And here's some hail from Minden Malone from Concord, Nebraska this afternoon. And a picture of some quarter-size hail from Jessica Stultz from Jefferson, South Dakota this afternoon. And thank you, Joe Reclitus from the Cedar County area in Nebraska. This picture of some hail this afternoon. And another picture from Joe you can see here of some small creek overflowing in southeastern Cedar County from that heavy rain. 33/100ths of an inch of rain in Sioux City. That's since midnight last night. That includes the overnight storms. 69 is our temperature in Sioux City. It's humid with a 61-degree dew point. And as we look at temperatures around the area, 60s and 70s ahead of the strong cold front that's moving into Chamberlain. 47 there. Winds are pretty strong in spots. In fact, we're all at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And gusts are going higher than that, especially around Yankton at 33 miles per hour. Let's zoom out a little bit here. We're going to take a look at temperatures across the upper Midwest. This is a sight for sore eyes, isn't it? 60s locally, 30s to the west. A very powerful system. And that system has been powerful enough to drag down enough cold air for snow in western parts of South Dakota. It's also been strong enough for these storm reports. You can see here across the upper Midwest, 37 tornado reports in the past 24 hours. Today's Severe Weather Week topic is tornadoes. First, we'll define a tornado, a violently rotating column of air stretching from the bottom of a thunderstorm to the ground. That last part is important. If it doesn't touch the ground, it's not a tornado. The strongest tornadoes have rotating winds of more than 250 miles per hour. Now, here's a look at tornadoes last year. This is interesting for a couple of reasons. First, you can see that in the United States, we had tornadoes reported each month out of the year, including January. What else stands out here? Well, June 287 tornadoes reported in June. Of course, that's when we had some very strong tornadoes in eastern Nebraska on the afternoon of June 16th, 2014. 4 large and violent tornadoes formed over eastern Nebraska in a warm and humid atmosphere. The strongest of the tornadoes took direct aim on the community of Pilger, killing 1 person and injuring many others. Several buildings were damaged or destroyed by the EF4 tornado, including the home of Jim Duncan, who went to his basement just in time to survive the storm.
It was scary, and I come home from work that night and looked to the southwest, and here comes this big black cloud. My sister and nephew were in the house, so I ran in there and we went to the basement quick, and the next thing that happened, the windows blew in the basement and the house blew away.
Good evening. We had record heat today, more like summer. Sioux City broke their record from 1956. We hit 91 degrees today as a high temperature, but that wasn't even the most impressive record. Norfolk, Nebraska had an incredible record as well. They shattered their record. 89 was the previous from 1995 and 1956.
Here's a look at our snow totals, though, and this is an eye-opener. Double digits in terms of the inches of snow in Pender, Nebraska. 10 inches of total accumulation there. 8.7 inches reported in Little Sioux. 8 inches of total snow in Yankton. 7.2 inches, the final total in Sioux City. 7 inches in Washita, and 6.4 inches up in Sioux Falls. And wait, there's more. 5.4 inches in Bloomfield, Nebraska. 5 inches of snow in Cherokee. 4.5 inches in Norfolk. And we received a report of 4 inches from our weather watcher in Marcus, Iowa, Joanne. 4 inches of total snow in Wayne, and 3.9 inches in Stanton. Now, we do have some fairly strong winds that have moved in behind the snow, and that is limiting visibilities across the area at this time. Just 3 miles of visibility in Sioux City, as well as in Tacoma, 1.25 miles of visibility in Denison, and also in Audubon, 1 mile in Carroll. So we still have some struggles in terms of our visibilities, and the road conditions are also pretty bad. You can see we have snow across all of the roads, heavily packed snow as well. We have some strong storms that have been rolling through the region. The first one initiated in southeastern portions of Woodbury County. Some leftover light showers being found in eastern portions of Siouxland now. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning that's right along the barrier of Antelope and Knox counties. We'll pull up the information for you now. That will continue until 6:30 here tonight. Be aware there could be some large hail associated with the storm as it moves to the east. But several more thunderstorms are also found to the west here. You can see those lining up.
Larrabee towards Sutherland. That's a new warning box there until 6:45. This one is a radar indicated rotation, so we do not have the confirmation yet on that storm, but it's pretty easy to see where we might have a tornado on the ground. By the way, treat every tornado warning as if the tornado is on the ground. Your life could depend upon that, and so we encourage everyone inside of those red warning boxes to take shelter right away. I think, Elisa, I'm going to throw those tips up. Why don't you go through those, and I'll see what's new here from our National Weather Service storm spotters.
Perfect. Thanks, Fred. So here are those tips. You want to go to the basement, the lowest level of your home. Again, as Fred was saying, every warning is important. You should take them all seriously. It doesn't matter if there was a confirmed tornado or not. Small rooms or hallways away from the windows, under stairs, cover your head, and abandoned mobile homes. If you're in a mobile home, those can get taken away very easily. You want to be in a sturdy building towards the bottom of the building. Again, with these plenty of warnings out and the confirmed tornado on the ground, we don't want to take any chances. So just everyone get towards your basement, the bottom of your home or shelter.
Thank you, Elisa. And I want to pass on a report we just received 1 mile west of Meriden. There was a funnel cloud reported by law enforcement at 6:08 p.m. So that's about 10 minutes ago. Again, 1 mile west of Meriden, a funnel cloud reported by law enforcement at 6:08 p.m. Now you can see, of course, the storm is moving, so it makes sense that not only would the funnel cloud move, but of course our rotation would move on radar. So there's the movement of the storm in the past hour. Now the strongest part of the storm is between Meriden and Larrabee, and stopping the movement there, the loop. There's some rotation just west of Larrabee, very dangerous there. And it looks like things have calmed down rotation-wise around Meriden. But right around Larrabee, in fact, let's put our distance track tool on that. You can see about 1 mile west of Larrabee, that's where we're seeing that rotation. And that certainly could produce a tornado at any time if it's not already on the ground. If you're within about a 7 or 8 mile radius of Larrabee in any direction, please take those safety tips to heart that Elisa just told you about a few minutes ago. Here we go. Go ahead and roll it. It's the Siouxland's weather team winter weather outlook. I'm your host, meteorologist Fred Hexom. First, before we talk about this winter, let's talk about what normal is. I put normal in quotes because there's never any normal, but a more or less normal or average pattern would show this polar jet stream zigzagging north and south across the north, and this Pacific jet stream doing more or less the same thing across the southern part of the map. Now, depending what part of this stream you're in, a ridge or a trough, you will have warm or cold air. And when we have the jet stream do a zigzag pattern like this, that stirs up stormy weather in pockets and quiet weather in pockets as the systems cross the United States. This winter, we are going to be in an El Nino pattern. What does that mean? Well, first of all, the polar jet stream weakens a bit and gets tucked away more off to the north across Canada, where it really doesn't affect our weather a lot. On the other hand, the Pacific jet stream strengthens quite a bit. That means all of the storms go along the southern Pacific jet, so that robs a lot of our moisture and a lot of our storms. Also, we have dry weather across parts of the central United States that are far removed from those jet streams that cause the active weather. The wet weather means cool weather across the southeast, but again, that polar jet being tucked away to the north means the cold air stays tucked away to the north, and the north central and northwestern U.S., including Siouxland, will experience warm conditions in the El Nino pattern. And by the way, our confidence in El Nino this winter, 95%. That is very high. What does that mean for us, though? Here's a look at the next few months. Normal highs in yellow, my forecast highs in pink, about 2 degrees warmer on average for November, December, January, and February, and about 1 degree above normal for March and April. But a cautionary note, remember, cold snaps, this is important, are still possible during a warmer winter. This just means average temperatures. You can still have 25 below zero in a warmer than normal winter. How about snow? Our normal winter, October through April total, is about 34.8 inches of snow. I'm forecasting 30 inches of snow, slightly below normal. Remember, we're going to be somewhat far removed from those jet streams that stir up the active weather. So below normal snowfall slightly, but one final prediction, drum roll please, one large 8 to 10 inch storm. Now you might be saying to yourself, why is he forecasting a large storm like that in a winter with below normal overall snowfall? Well, I invite you to check out SiouxlandMatters.com. We have a story posted there that'll give you a little bit more information in how I came up with these predictions, some of the data that I looked at to arrive at the conclusions. And of course, we will be tracking not only the winter storms, but my predictions as we go along this winter. Good afternoon. We're actually seeing some sunshine, at least some peaks in the clouds on the Port Neal Welding Company Skycam HD in downtown Sioux City. As we look at the satellite and radar, you can see that the rain from earlier today has quickly pushed east. Clouds generally do remain, though, across the area. Still some showers across the north. Let's look at our temperature map. Cool readings, only 50s in Yankton, O'Neill, and 56 in Chamberlain. It's 68 in Sioux City and 70 in Takema, with a mix of 60s and lower 70s in the east. Here is the planner for tonight. A chance of showers, but the heavy rain threat is gone. And we will actually see sunshine tomorrow, but it's going to be cool and breezy. I'll let you know when 80s return to the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. It's time for local news that matters.
Now, live from KCAU TV in Sioux City, Iowa, this is ABC 9 News at 5.
And good afternoon. Thanks for being with us today. I'm Tim Seaman.
And I'm Jenna Renstrom. It's another day of heavy rains and flooded areas of Siouxland.
Flood warnings and watches for the area have been canceled, but high waters are still being monitored in and around the Hornick area, especially along the West Fork Ditch and the West Fork Little Sioux. The river crested this afternoon at 23 feet. Now, that's 3 feet above flood stage. Over the years, folks in this area have gotten used to this type of lowland flooding. It's somewhat common there, and thanks to infrastructure improvements, the mayor of Hornick says that folks there are sleeping better than they used to when high water threatens.
Because of the way the system got rebuilt back in 97, 98, after the 96 flood, this thing can hold a lot of water. With this new bridge, it's now a good 4 feet or better higher than what it was before.
However, the city of Hornick is still taking precautions. The mayor says that if an evacuation were required, there is a plan in place. The good news is river levels are forecast to continue falling tonight.
Well, heavy rain over the past few days has led to flooded roadways all throughout Siouxland. Things were especially bad in parts of South Sioux City. ABC 9's weekend meteorologist Elisa Raffa addresses the damage.
It was a messy commute for many Monday morning as heavy rain over the weekend left roads with over a foot of standing water. South Sioux City was hit particularly hard, not just by Mother Nature, but by poor drainage areas and low-lying ground.
Yes, it comes up the driveway and people drive through it and push the water up but at this point we are at the lowest point in South Sioux City and we get quite a bit of water.
Bort Auto Body sits on 21st and Highway 77, just one of the many spots in South Sioux City where the drainage system ends and water builds up, making spots like these prone to flooding.
The system is not designed to handle that much, and the streets that are at the end of the system just take a little bit longer to finally drain down.
New pipes can be a solution, but very expensive. Livermore says they are working to find less expensive alternatives. For now, it helps to have residents keep the drains clean.
All that material can get caught in grates, slow down the flow.
With more heavy rain in the forecast for Tuesday, officials are reminding everyone to stay safe. Don't drive into standing water. Your car can easily be taken away or get stuck. Wait until roads are clear.
It comes and goes pretty fast, but this was a big gusher.
In South Sioux City, Nebraska, meteorologist Elisa Raffa, ABC 9 News.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. According to the HD radar, it's snowing across much of the region, but really the only area we're seeing that snow actually hit the ground is further to the north. They've picked up about 3 inches of snow in Sioux Falls. Heavy snow has been falling in the northwest corner of Iowa and the southeast corner of South Dakota. In fact, there have been some whiteout conditions up toward Yankton. Looking at visibilities now, you can see where that snow is falling up toward Sheldon and Orange City with that limited visibility now. Along Iowa 9 and also Highway 18. That's where we have some deep snow, which is starting to accumulate there, just to the north of Sioux City at this point. We do still have a winter storm warning in effect for all the yellow counties on your screen. That goes until midnight tonight. Here's a look at your day planner then. 34 degrees at noon. Snow mainly to the north. The snow continues through the day as the temperature cools. We'll have a full look at your forecast in a few moments. Here's Lucas with your news.
Now, live with local news that matters from KCAU TV in Sioux City, Iowa. This is ABC 9 News Midday.
And you're looking inside the Iowa DOT. They're ready and waiting for the snow to hit the ground. We'll be joining them when they hit the road later today. Good morning and thanks for joining us this midday. I'm Lucas Voss in for Jessica Ray. Siouxland is facing its first snowstorm of the season. Scott, how bad is it going to be? What's it going to look like?
Well, Lucas, we're still expecting the development of a band of really heavy snow to affect the Highway 20 corridor here as the day continues. What has really been the main issue to this point in terms of getting that snow to the ground, at least here in Sioux City, is a lack of humidity in the air. We'll take a look at our relative humidity now. You can see to the north where we just showed you moments ago that visibility being impacted by some of the moderate to heavy snow. You can see the humidity is up over 80%. Sioux City right now just a little bit drier, and that is making the difference at this point in getting that snow to the surface. So once the air is able to saturate throughout the entire column of the atmosphere, that's when we'll start to see that snow hitting Sioux City. We did get a little bit of snow this morning. Much of that has melted thanks to those soil temperatures over 40 degrees. We'll get a look at a couple of snow totals that have been reported though so far, and they're pretty significant. You can see Parker, South Dakota picking up about 5.5 inches of snow. Lennox, South Dakota at about 4. Sioux Falls, close to 4 inches now, and you can also see Pocahontas, Iowa picking up about 1 inch.